Good morning, anyone out there who's listening. It's a beautiful Friday morning. I just wrapped up an 11-mile easy general aerobic run. Looking forward to a good long run tomorrow. Today, I wanted to share with anyone who's interested a little bit of one exercise I use to bulletproof my hamstrings, hips, knees, and pretty much everything unilateral on one side of the body, balancing things out. I got a hip injury a couple years back from overuse, just increasing mileage too quickly, and also sliding around in some mud, dodging the boys in blue in Park Cities. That's another story. It took me out of commission for a couple months, and when I got back with the help of Steve White and Jason Carmen and some other folks, I figured out a regimen to fix my hip, and it gradually evolved over time to where it's become a regimen for producing, I would say, unilateral stability. A lot of people in the weightlifting community, especially the CrossFit community, have become better over the years about working unilateral exercises. People love our Bulgarian split squats. We love our front split squats. We love all of those pistols in the CrossFit Games, right, guys? But what haven't gotten great at is doing with the hips, challenging the hip in the way the hip is actually like most vulnerable and most necessary in a unilateral respect, and that is just standing on one leg. Yoga people are way better than us at this, but they don't challenge it with enough load. So I've come up with just a basic exercise. I do this after every run, and this could just be me, but I found that as long as I do this exercise, I do these balancing exercises, my hip just never gets screwed up. And so I'll never stop doing them. So give it a try, give it a whirl. I'm gonna see if I can set this up somewhere where it doesn't fall down. Basically, I do a bunch of different exercises that work different things like hamstrings, quads, etc. But they all involve balancing on one leg. And that way you get a lot of time, extended time, balancing on just one leg. A typical set of pistols, for a CrossFitter will last like half a second, right? If you're good, because you go through it quickly. Here, the goal is to stay on one leg. Okay, on left leg here. So toe flips, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'll often do one for every mile I do. 2, 3, 4, 5. Little knee bends. This is here on the front of the quad, staying upright as much as you can. Really get that VMO firing, right? For stability. Now we do these dynamic scales, or whatever you call these. 1. The goal here is to not let the hip shift sideways. You want to stay straight and put the load on the hamstring. Come to full extension. Try to come to full extension here. Try to get something like full extension here. I'm sure I'm not doing that. Try not to let the knee track out to the outside. That will be challenging, but try to keep yourself so you're just like firing that quad and that quad and the glute of the hamstring, firing the other hip from the other side, keeping hips balanced, parallel to the ground. We got 12 there. Then I do these sideways things I saw on Solid McRae's channel. That's the yellow runner. This I found helps my back, and so I do those little ones. Here again, I guess ideally you'd be like fully extended and like not hiking at the hip at all. But I do this. Some lateral hip action here. Okay, so now I go back down the pyramid, so I go back down into these front knee dips. There, toe flicks there. Okay, now we switch. For this one, I'll walk face you or something. Let's see how bad my balance is. And I'm sure my hip balance is all kinds of messed up. I think a lot of runners and highly functional athletes manage to make do with a lot of hip imbalance. It's not to say they wouldn't run better. I wouldn't run better if I couldn't fix it. But I think for runners, there's a lot to be said for just winding up and producing a certain amount of tension in the right places. So, I can deal with having a pretty imbalanced SI joint, like my hips not even at all, as long as my lower back and glutes are pretty activated. And so, often in the context of a training program, whereas for an ordinary individual, a reasonable individual, you would want to just fix that imbalance because it's the root cause, or it's the proximate cause at that time. For someone who's a little more trained, if you take time out to just focus on fixing your imbalances, and then that causes you to ignore your strength regimen, then in my experience, the deleterious effects of lower muscle tone and just like lack of supporting muscle tension in other areas will far outweigh any kind of targeted correction of imbalance you gain. So again, totally unqualified opinion here, but whenever possible, I try to keep loading the hip, keep working the hip in a bunch of different ways, and then I find that is, overall the best way to stay healthy. As you can see, I've accumulated a fair amount of time on this hip, and just standing in one place, far longer than I would running, of course, and doing pistols. And I find that you get a nice kind of warm feeling in the hip. It's just the deep hip muscles, or whatever hip muscles in here, fatiguing in here. That's nice. My idea is that's protective from that. If you work on that, you will be able to continuously strengthen your hip endurance and resilience, and you'll be able to endure higher mileage and more intense terrain and training. I hope you all have good luck with this. I hope it benefits somebody. And if you have any questions, drop me a line.